What is up, you guys? Happy Tuesday. It's thunderstorming here in Dresser, Wisconsin. I don't know if you can hear it. Now it's really raining hard, too. So, I know. What's it doing in Chelsea, Michigan, Ann Brothers?
It's warm and very sunny and kind of windy. So I wouldn't be surprised if something blew in, but I don't know. Right now there isn't a cloud in the sky.
That's nice. Is it hot there? It was hot here today. It was 90.
Yeah.
I think at one point it was 90 degrees today. So.
Oh, I don't think it got that hot here, but I'd say it's in the high 80s. So it's a
Okay.
little humid, as you can tell by my hair, which is all
Look at
fluffy.
you frizzing out. I'm not used to seeing you with hair that long. You and your quarantine.
I know.
hair.
I've got my mushroom cap on.
I know. I have short hair because of the robo cut that Joe has. So I've been cutting my own hair. I'll have to do a video on that because it's quite a process. But it's nice. You can give yourself a haircut. So we're popular with that because we have the robo cut.
I'm thinking about buying a razor, one of the electric razors from Amazon, and just putting it on the one setting and going bald.
Subversive Annie Lennox cut. Oh, look, there's Lori Worrell that's saying it both sucks and cuts. Yes, Lori Worrell, it does.
Nice.
But look at my hair. Look how amazing it looks. Actually, this is
it does. It looks amazing.
Because if you get up close, it looks a little uneven. But nobody's got to know that. So, hey. So anyway, you guys, we are doing 10 for Tuesday, which means we are doing 10 questions each for Tuesday. Some of the questions that you supplied, some of the questions that we have supplied, and there you go. And do you want to ask questions first or answer questions first?
Well, you asked last time, I think, first, or I did. I can't remember. I'll ask first.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me.
Okay.
All right.
First question.
Okay.
Sports. Why?
Excellent question, Ann. I believe that sports exist, and it's a good thing they exist because I believe there would be more murder without sports.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. There you go. All right.
Mickey says hello.
I know people have been all sad because there haven't been any sports, and I'm like, I haven't really noticed. I'm like, there hasn't been any sports.
Well, okay. And this time of year, I'm not a big sports follower this time of year. I used to be when I was younger, and I followed baseball quite a bit, but not so much anymore. So I have to admit, I'm not really missing sports that much. Ooh, Lisa Sammer wants to know, do we count chess? Chess is not a sport. Chess is war. Okay, good.
That's nice. I was going to be like, chess is a game, huh?
No, it's not. It's war. So, anyway, all right.
There you go. What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
Wait, hang on. My husband's calling. I forgot to shut my phone off. I can't talk right now. We're live.
Hi, Joe. What's his favorite breakfast cereal?
Okay, bye. It's not close, Ann. It's Fruity Pebbles by a mile. In fact, we can't have Fruity Pebbles in the house because I eat it all. And then here's the thing, though. If you eat too much Fruity Pebbles, your poop turns green the next day. And then you're like, what's wrong with me? And then you're like, oh, that's right. I just ate an entire box of Fruity Pebbles. Look at that.
I just ate a whole thing of stuff that isn't really food.
It's not. It has no nutritional value. In fact, I think if the more you eat it, your life actually gets shorter as you eat it. So it literally takes years off your life. So yeah, I'm probably going to live like 20 years less because of all the Fruity Pebbles I've eaten in my lifetime. So as you can see, we got a few people watching. We got Vivian. Hi, Vivian. How are you? Mickey, what's up? I will tell Vivian. I will tell Joe you said hi. All right, cool. Oh gosh, we got lots of people watching today. All right. Yes, Lisa is absolutely the blue dye. It makes my poop green. It's amazing. Jenny Smith says, do you like Fruity Pebbles marshmallow treats? That's a tough question. I'm going to say not as much as I would like because I feel like Fruity Pebbles is literally the perfect cereal. And I've had the marshmallow ones and I did not feel that it improved the cereal anymore. So there you go. There you go.
Right. Very good.
All right. Next question.
All right, Jenny. So COVID-19 is over. Well, in our imaginations, when it's over, what is the first thing you're going to do locally?
This was a tough one for me. I will probably go to Meritage in St. Paul because I was thinking like locally, like around Dresser, and there's just not much here. The closest thing I would love to have a margarita. They have this margarita called the Sexy Margarita at our little tiny Mexican restaurant in Dresser. I really like that. But other than that, I would really like to go to Meritage in St. Paul. It's a really excellent French restaurant. And I find myself missing it because I just want to sit there and eat all of their bread. All of it. And they make such good bread and butter. And then you get the mussels and then you dip the mussels in the bread and then you eat that. It just sounds amazing. I want that. Or I want to eat sushi. One of those two. Because there's no sushi places unless you count Walmart sushi, and you never count that as sushi. Ever.
Never. All right, Jenny Brothers.
All right.
Once again, in your imagination, COVID-19 is over. What's the first thing you do? And not when I mean out of state, not in Minneapolis or Minnesota, because that's practically what,
It doesn't count because that's in my backyard. It's totally in my backyard.
Exactly.
I'm going to come see my sister. I'm going to come see my sister, and then we're going to go to Crust and eat baked goods together.
Oh my gosh,
that's what we're going to do. Good. That's what I want to do first. And then I want to go to the Upper Peninsula, and eventually I'd like to go back to Colorado and visit my family out there and all my friends. But you're first, Ann. You're first. So
I'm first. That's right. Jenny loves me best.
That's right.
So the rest of you can cram it with walnuts.
Yay! Oh. Joe's like, hey, I'm standing right here. Right? Hey, come here. Come here. You got to say hi to Vivian. Vivian is on. So say hi to Vivian.
Hi, Vivian.
I'm not Vivian.
Yes.
Okay.
No, that's okay.
No.
All right. Next question. I got to stay
next question.
I got to stay focused.
Best dining experience ever.
Actually, Joe should come back because he's actually part of this dining experience. Joe and I accidentally went to Meritage, or not Meritage. We went to Mercat a la Plancha in Chicago, and I literally spent more money on that dinner than ever in the history of dinner. We spent $300 that night because we had the chef's thing where the chef picks out what you eat, and then we also got 2 pitchers of sangria. So drunk, so full, so fun. Boyd, if you're out there, I love you. He was our waiter. So pretty sure he was gay, but that didn't matter because he was amazing. So anyway, Lori, I love Meritage too. We have Meritage together, you and I. So well done. So yeah. Yes, I love bread so much, Mickey. I love it so much. All right, next question. I'm ready.
The smartest thing you've ever done.
Well, obviously marrying Joe. I mean, I have to say that because he's right. He's right behind me, isn't he? Right behind me. Honestly, I didn't know it at the time, but remember when we took the tour together in '95? Mm-hmm. Taking that tour, a lot of that cleared up a lot of things for me taking that tour. So, not only did I realize my love of travel, but I realized that I could be a teacher. I always thought I could, but that was pretty much like, if I can manage all those middle school kids and be a stranger in the process and go to all those places, I would say that it taught me to be not afraid. So there you go.
Yeah.
That was the smartest thing I've ever done. Yeah.
All right, Jenny. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done?
Starting my own business. Supper Solutions was the dumbest thing I've ever done. The dumbest. Oh my God. I still have nightmares about that experience for so many reasons. Don't ever do that. Oh,
Mom and Dad were like, when you started talking about that, they're like, should we tell her not to do it? I'm like, no, you can't tell her not to do it. They're like, do you think it's a good idea? I'm like, no, it's a terrible idea. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
No, that was a mistake. So we're still paying for that one financially. Here it is. I don't know, 12, 13, 15 years later. I don't care. Anyway, yeah, that was dumb. Okay.
Okay. What's the funnest thing you've ever done?
Probably the Eclipse trip.
Oh.
The Eclipse trip was your wedding was really fun too. So,
my wedding was so fun.
Not that my wedding wasn't fun, because it was, but your wedding was funner, if that's a word.
Yeah.
So, but I would say the Eclipse trip, because that one was just sort of this life thing that was really cool, and it was fun, and yeah. Wait, Lori's asking me what business. So Joe and I owned a business called Supper Solutions, which is one of those meal making dinner places, and it wasn't great. Not a great plan on my part. So yeah. Wait, my favorite pirate joke. What's a pirate's favorite Star Wars character?
I don't know what.
R2D2. What? Wow.
What? That's awesome. All right, Jenny Brothers, what is your superpower?
You know what? I'm really fairly shameless about being a dork. And I think that's an important superpower to have, especially when you look like me. So, yeah. And I also, that's probably it. Probably the ability to kind of just not get all uptight about that. So just being a dork. That's all. You know, like
Cool. That's
I
a
can
good
still
one.
eat like I can still eat like a baby. Yeah.
All right, last but not least, if you could choose a superpower, what would it be?
Teleport. You could teleport. I would teleport anywhere. Teleport. I could literally just go anywhere I want, whenever I wanted. Teleportation. Yes.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I'm
You need
excited
to work
about
on that.
I know. So far, it's not going well. That's fine. All right. Laura. Okay, so this is the book that Lori Worrell sent me, and sorry if you have kids in the room, but it's fun. So she wants to know what recipe I'm going to do first. I have not looked at it, but so that's going to be for next week. So Lori, for next week, I will answer what recipe I'm going to do out of that book because it's completely awesome. Yes. So yeah, I know, Mickey, right? So Ann Brothers, are you ready to answer your 10 questions? Wait, was that my 10 questions? I lost track. Okay. All right, let's go to Ann's 10 questions. Here we go. I'm going to actually put Ann's questions right up here so that everybody can see them. All right, number one, we're going to start off with the ones, by the way, these questions, the smartest, dumbest, and funnest questions. That's actually a viewer question from Michelle Chanik. Thank you for those questions. So question number one is the smartest thing that you've ever done, Ann Brothers.
Well, it's kind of like two that go into one. I also owned my own business. I opened up a secondhand clothing store when I was 24. It failed. And let me tell you, after that, everything was easy. I mean, after that failed, I was like, damn, I can do anything because it couldn't be as worse as that was. And then we went on the tour together, and that's when I figured out that, I could understand science because I was never a science person at all. So I'm like, and I was pretty good at explaining concepts to people that didn't understand science because I thought I didn't understand it. So those two things together, it was like I had to close the business and we went on the tour together at the same time. So that was kind of the smartest conglomerate thing I ever done. It helped make me fearless, and it helped me realize that I wasn't as dumb as I looked.
Right on, girl, right on. Yeah, it's amazing what happens when you really, when you try and fail. And
yeah,
it really does sort of like, okay, that's fine. That wasn't so bad.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't even try. I wasn't even trying to fail. I just did.
It works out sometime. Right on. All right. Question two, that's okay, the dumbest thing you've ever done.
I am not going to admit to felonies on the World Wide Web.
Smart. That's the smart thing too. All right. All right. So the funnest thing you've ever done.
Well, that's it has less to do with the event and more to do usually with the people I'm with. So I usually find that if I can be with people that are as easily amused as I am, then I usually have a good time. So like when I'm with you or with Duncan or with you and Duncan or with you and Joe and Duncan, I find that it's always the funnest time.
Remember when we did the quad bike together?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I'm like, we rode that stupid bike, the quad bike together, and the danger, and all this, and donuts at 6:30 in the morning in Grand Marais, and it's like any time that I'm with people that are easily amused is when I'm having the most fun. So it has less to do with the event and more to do with the people I'm with.
For sure, absolutely, for sure. All right, so this is a good one. Ann Brothers, what would your 16-year-old self say to your 50-year-old self?
How'd you get so fat?
I know, I was so skinny. I saw a picture of myself from high school, and I was like, oh my God, look at me, I'm so skinny!
I know, look how hot I was! I should have had sex with so many more people!
God, I spent all that time in high school thinking I was fat. I'm like, I wasn't fat at all, I was buff! My God, I'm so hot! Oh, well.
Oh, well. Oh, sweet, sweet youth.
Ruby agrees with you. She said, "Fun people are fun," and Leah, you are fun. So you would be one of those fun people to hang out with for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. All right. Question 5: if you could only plant 3 things in your garden, what would they be and why? You only get 3.
Well, one, I would plant tomatoes because I love tomatoes, and the best tomatoes are the one that come out of the garden. Store-bought tomatoes are sad. In fact, they taste like despair. So tomatoes. My favorite, one of my favorite foods is gazpacho, and I make the best gazpacho as far as I'm concerned, because most restaurants make it like it's it's like they're making salsa. So I love tomatoes would be first. Next would be beans. Beans are so versatile, and when you make them, when you grow them yourself, they taste so much better. Like dried beans, because I usually just let all my beans dry because I'm not that big into fresh beans. I'm like, ooh, green beans, gross. But like dry beans, and I put them in, they taste so good. You'd be like, oh my gosh, this bean tastes like it has flavor, not like it's, in between the other stuff that tastes good. And then finally, garlic, because you have to have garlic in everything.
True. All right, so you gardeners out there you go. If you're going to plant 3 things in your garden, there they are: tomatoes, beans, and garlic. I love it.
Also, beans store really well, and if there's going to be an apocalypse, you've got to have beans. You got to have beans, corn, and squash. So, beans.
All right, so if you guys are prepping your garden for the apocalypse, and this is a good time to do it because who the hell knows what's going to happen. But so there you go. There you are, you guys. Ann's advice on what to plant for the apocalypse. Yes. All right, that takes us to our next question. I believe that's question 6. Okay, so you and I have taken many trips to the Art Institute in Chicago. My question is, what is the best room in the Art Institute of Chicago?
Where they have all the tiny things, the little tiny furniture,
the little tiny houses.
Settings.
Yes, the tiny house thing. That is remarkably cool.
Remarkably fascinating.
It is. There's something about it that I find super comforting. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just the fact that it's fun to look at all the different house styles, or that somebody made this with their hands and that's cool. But yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
That's the first thing that pops in my head. I'm like, yep, that's the one I'm going. The tiny, tiny little room.
Tiny room. That is. I like that one a lot too. All right. Question 7. What's the best TV show you've watched in the last year?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably The Good Place. It is super funny. Duncan and I reference it all the time. There's sometimes where something happens, you're like, oh my God, that could be a punchline from that show. And then at the very last episode made me tear up. And I was like, you know what? If this is what happens, we're so lucky. So The Good Place.
Yeah, The Good Place is such a fantastic show. I would agree. Top 5 shows of all time, in my opinion. Such a fantastic, funny, smart, all of it. All right, Ann, what is your best dining experience?
Well, my best dining experience would also be at Mercat's in Chicago. And that's when you and I went, and we got the chef's choice. And then we got a flight of sangria, and then we got our own sangrias, and our waiter was wonderful. And we got 3 desserts. And I love any event where I can have 3 desserts. So
yes. Because then again, it goes back to that, the idea that every restaurant should allow you to buy a dessert platter. The fact that you can get an appetizer platter, but no dessert platter, that is injustice. Sorry.
Yes, it is. Anyway, and our waiter our waiter even got us a free dessert. He's like, you guys are the best customers I've ever had. And that's because we're not sophisticated. And we get excited about everything.
And we never stopped eating, not the whole time. Yeah, and that was the first time we had ever been there. You're like, we should go to this place. And I was like, okay. And then we went. It was amazing. Yes.
It was amazing.
Yes, Lisa Samra, we do really like Chicago. And that's because we grew up 2 hours from there, and we were kids. Our dad were like, we didn't go to Detroit for fun when we were little girls. We went to Chicago. So Chicago sort of became like the place that you went, So we still do, because it's still awesome. All right, good. All right. So where are we on? We are on question number, I believe we were on question 8. You're about to say, okay, no, we're on question 9, actually. There it is. What is the most surprising travel experience you have ever had?
Well, it wasn't a good surprise, I got to tell you. Jenny and I, what was it, in 2003? when we did our trip to New Orleans and Texas and New Mexico.
The Uvalde,
So
Texas incident of 2002
Yeah.
is what it was.
In
Yeah.
2002. Yeah. So
Yep.
Jenny and I had spent an extra day in New Orleans because we realized that in New Orleans, we were some of the hottest people there.
We
It
were
was
so
awesome.
happy there. It was amazing.
Anyway, so we went to Austin, Texas, and little did we know, well, we knew that it wasn't a hurricane, it was a tropical storm that was coming through the Gulf. And we didn't really pay very much attention because it wasn't a hurricane. So we're like, okay, we've seen rain before. So we were leaving Austin, Texas one morning, and it was raining really hard, but we're like, okay. So we were heading towards New Mexico, and we were listening to the local radio because this was 2003, so there wasn't any GPS. So I was driving. Jenny had the map as the navigator. We were listening to local radio, and the road that we were traveling on, the bridge, was washed out. We heard that on local news on the radio. So we kept heading south, and finally got into San Antonio. And San Antonio was flooding. People were running. We were on this small section of freeway that hadn't been flooded yet for some God unknown reason. And we were just trying to head west. We kept getting sidetracked. Jenny's got a map, a paper map. She's like, okay, take this road, take this road.
Before GPS. Yeah.
Yeah, take this road. So we finally get far enough west that we think we've outrun the storm, and we're heading into Uvalde, Texas, which is right on the Mexico border. And not that you could tell you were in Uvalde, Texas, because it was raining so hard. The bridge behind us, we heard, had been wiped out already. So the bridge behind us had been wiped out, and we were driving kind of on the outskirts of town, and this truck passed us, and he kicks up this big spout of water, and we realize that he's driving over a bridge and he gets swamped. So I slam on the brakes so we don't get swamped, and I turn us around in this driveway, but we don't have any place to go. The bridge behind us is washed out. The bridge in front of us is washed out. So we head kind of uphill. We end up spending the next 3 hours at a Ford dealership. The water came up to the middle of our tires, and
they were nice though.
I thought, oh my God, I'm going to end up on CNN being helicoptered off the roof of this Ford dealership. It rained, thundered, lightning, downpoured for the next 3 hours.
I've never seen a rain like that before or since. Oh my God,
it was the worst. Crazy. It was terrifying.
And popcorn at the Ford dealership, they were super nice.
They were very nice. They were wonderful to us. So we sat in the lobby until it stopped raining. The sun came out. They told us another way to get around to another bridge through Uvalde. Ugh, that was the worst. It was all backed up on both sides because it was the only open bridge in the freaking county. And at one point they stop us on the bridge, and there are trees rushing under the bridge from the water, and water coming over the top of the bridge, and the bridge is shaking, and my car is shaking, and we're just standing there in standstill traffic waiting for the sheriff to wave us through.
We were gonna die.
I thought we were too. I thought we're gonna die. I almost sent Jenny. I wanted to say, Jenny, get out of the car and run across the bridge. Run across the bridge. Just run across the bridge. But I knew she wouldn't do it. But I was like, I didn't want to die alone.
If we had any brains, we would just gotten out of the car and both walked off the bridge. But we were trying to be good citizens because the cops were like, "Don't get out of your car."
I'm like, I was still paying on it. I just bought the Saturn last year. I was still paying on it.
That's funny.
So that was the most surprising experience.
Yes, I would agree.
Make it. As you can see, we made it.
We did.
But it sucked. Ugh.
Yeah, we ended up just staying in Uvalde that night, and we stayed at a hotel, and there was a Sonic right next door, and we ate Sonic for dinner. And it was amazing.
We did.
Hey, chili dogs. So, I would agree. That was a surprising day. That was. Question 10. What are you best at, Ann Brothers?
Finding the loopholes. If you want me to do something and I don't want to do it, I will find the loophole. Or if I want to do something and people are telling me I can't, I will find the loophole. I'm like a middle school student.
Oh my God, you are. Oh my God, you are so 8th grader. Oh, yeah, they do that. Yes. Yeah, I would agree. That's well said, Ann Brothers. Yes. Yeah. So, all right, you guys. Good 10 questions, Ann. High five. High five. High five. High five for 10 questions.
Nice. Me too.
Thank you. Excellent 10 questions, everybody. Hey, that's pretty much all we have for today. We wanted to do our 10 questions because it's kind of dumb and fun. And again, you guys, if you have any questions for us, again, some of you threw questions at us throughout the comments today. Happily, we'll answer those questions. You can always leave us questions after we're done in the comment section, and we will write those down. We will work on those for next week. But that's it for today, you guys. Join us tomorrow because Ann Brothers, an Ann Brothers exclusive, we are Ann-splaining tomorrow. That's right. Ann-splaining means that Ann will explain something to us. Tomorrow she will explain the importance and give us knowledgeable information about bats. So join us tomorrow. Again, 5 Central, 6 Eastern, 4 Mountain, 3 Pacific, where we have our first ever Ann-splaining with Ann. All right, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Be good. Hopefully you'll get some of this rain.
I hope so.
Yeah, cool. All right, you guys, we are out. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.